Good morning, crafters. I am excited to be back on my channel. I have some new subscribers since I've last been on YouTube, so welcome. That's always fun. I so appreciate that. I'm coming to you from my Paper Fire studio near Austin, Texas, where we're slowly starting to open up. Things are a little more mobile around here, so that's always exciting. Everybody's feeling good and doing good, and so that's wonderful. In fact, I wanted to start off real quick. This wasn't why the focus of our time together today, but I did want to reinforce. I did put some pictures up. On Mother's Day, I was lucky enough to be within a good driving distance of an estate sale. And one of the pictures that I saw, and in the description, it talked about she was a crafter. And I thought, uh-oh, we need to go. And they were doing all the social distancing. They only let 10 people in at a time. You had to have a mask. And so it was great. It was very safe. And so I got there pretty early, like I always do. And I walked in, and of course my radar's going off for where's the crafting, where's the fabric. And they had two signs over two of the bedroom doors. If you could imagine, one of them said craft room, but the other door said fabric and lace. And I thought, a whole bedroom? So the heck with the craft room. I ran, made a beeline straight to the fabric and the laces. And I walked in. My husband was kind of trailing behind me, and he was laughing because he knew that's right where I would go. And his eyes got real big, and I looked around. I think I was the first one in the room. I don't think anybody had touched what they had laid out because it was gorgeous. And they had bins of lace cards, all neatly packed in these bins. But what caught my eye were the bolts of fabric. In front of the bolts of fabric, they had bolts of lace. These laces were just, and you can't even see that there's laces under the laces. So who knows how many yards of lace there really are in this thing. And there were 3 of them. So boy, I threw these into my husband's hands so fast and said, take these to the hold table. I'm getting them. So that was some other lace cards. And actually, I didn't get much of the fabric that they had, but I found the lace. So I came back to my studio and I thought, listen, I'll never be able to use all this lace. So I decided to make some lace bouquets that I could put up on my Etsy shop. And of course, that idea grew into, well, what am I going to put them in? And so by the time I was done with this idea, I had file folder pouches with 2 kinds of laces stuck in the pouches. And then, of course, I had to decorate, and here we go. So let me show you. This has the vellum pockets in the front, and there's lace that highlights that there's a pocket there. And these have a bouquet of, there's a mid-size lace, but some of the thinner laces, let me get so you can see it. Some of the thinner laces that we use in our journals is trim. You want to highlight something, you could do it with lace. All different kinds of colors. I did not coffee dye anything. You know, some of these I will coffee dye when I use them, but I did not touch them. This is the real color of that. I did not touch that or that one. That's the colors that they were on the bolt. And then in the back, I realized that we all like to use the big fat laces, and this one's folded up. You can kind of see how wide it is. but these are the laces that we could use for the pockets and the tucks in our journals. Now, the woman that was hosting the estate sale, I tried to get some history on this. And she said all she knew is that she was crafting for 30 years. She had a lot of German dolls and German books. And she said, I don't know that some of these were from Germany. I tried to look on any of the cards that I got, if there was any information on these laces. And short of looking them all up, which I'm not going to do, I will just tell you that these laces are different than what you find in Joann's. Because I've been to Joann's. I've got 3 Joann stores around me here in the East Austin area. And I've never seen these. I've never seen some of these. So if you're interested in laces, different kind of laces, if you're sick of what's at Joann's, you need to look at these. Then I did, and there's 5 in that, I did 5 file folders with Vintage Girl, another lace bouquet, but I did what I call the mid-range size laces. These are the size that, again, you could do a belly band, you could do a side tuck. They might not be quite big enough for a pocket at the bottom, and that's why I filled you up again with some laces at the back like I did that. So the back of the pockets always have the fatter laces in there. And did some stamping, and then I did a tulle pocket on front, which is just gorgeous. It's just so pretty. And another piece of lace to highlight the front pocket. And, you know, decorated the back and the front with some inking and stamping. So those are in my Etsy shop, 5 of these and 5 of these. And just so you know, there'll be more secrets tucked in these pockets when you get them. They're probably going to look a little fuller than this, and who knows what secrets await you. That I always like to do when I have orders in my Etsy shop. So that I'm going to lay aside here, because what I really want to show you today is some ephemera that I have been working on, and maybe a little sneak peek of a journal that's getting done. But these are just a little bit different, kind of a unique twist on maybe a fabric flip that we've done. I'm sure somebody has done these. I was inspired by a piece of ephemera that I got with an order that I got, and for the life of me I can't find it. So if you've done this, please send me a note and I could put your name on it. But I just remembered them that I used heavy cardstock paper here to emboss it, so it really dug into the paper there. And I used the tracing paper on the back, copy dyed it, then put it together with, surprise, some lace with some sari silk that I just, this one I stitched the sari silk together so it was thinner, and then I just glued it in a crazy pattern. Just laid the glue down, took the sari silk, followed the glue, so it kind of made a, you can kind of see there, the lighting is good, but you can just see how it's in a kind of a whole host of hooks and coming around, and then I just cut it off and ended it. So that size was the shorter ones, but then I knew that I wanted to have some to fill a page, and I'll show you a sample of this and how I use this in a minute. Maybe this color is a little easier to see how I did it. Now this one, I did not stitch the sari silk together. I just glued it, and here it's coming around. Glued it on the lace, and then embossed some cardstock, put it on the crinkly, wonderful stuff, and that one was ready to go. This one in blue. Same thing, and it's just the embossing that catches your eye. Now, creative minds are going crazy. What could you do to the front of this to maybe collage on the front? Because it is embossed. I left them blank for now, just because I'm not sure in the project what I'm going to need. So again, there's another blue, same embossing. Now, this one, as I put this on, I decided to just do a ball pin here, connected a little key to it, and you can see the embossing onto the paper. And that, oh, these were so fun to make. This one I love. This is hearts. I have an embossing folder that has just hearts, and it's a big embossing folder, so it's long. And then I added a little rosette in the middle of the sari silk trim. I love that one. This one, I just did a little love key, little love word tag actually, hanging down. And this, I believe, is a Stampin' Up! Embossing folder there. It's kind of snow. It looks kind of like snow coming down. This one is script text. I really liked that one against the coffee stain tracing paper. And again, a rosette in the middle. Here's another little one with some embossing paper. Did a bow to the side, stuck that on with a pin. And lastly, another heart one. Heart embossed one with that pretty trim at the top, and that has coffee dyed sari silk on it. I don't know if you can see the coffee dyed there. So anyway, those to inspire you to make some embossing flips, I'm calling them. Then I thought, well, if I can do that and make those, why not use these French receipts that, and I believe that Rachel at Roxy Creations has them. And, oh, I'm going to have to go back and look it up. Who else has these long French receipts that we can print out in digital form? I just love them. In fact, I've got a journal that's not quite finished yet that has a lot of these. I'm using a lot of these receipts in. But I got the idea, why not do what I just did with the embossing ones? Why not decorate these to be flaps? You could do these as side tucks. You could even come in the middle of the page and do a flip up with these. And I just love the printing on them. So again, added my own little decoration on there, added some trim, kind of followed the lines of the receipt. Look at this one. I love this one. I did metal sides because the receipt kind of, there's a line here. If you just look at the receipt, it kind of tells you where to decorate. I put a B in the middle, right in the middle of their logo there. It looks like it belongs. And then hung a key from the two metal sides there. So again, the receipts are so fun because they tell you where to decorate. Did some sari silk gathering at the top. Let me pull this up. And just some clipping of some trim there with a epoxy flower that I had. This one's probably a little thick. You got to be careful. And then I have some trim that has buttons on it. No, I didn't hand sew all those buttons on that trim perfectly even. No, I didn't do that. It's on the trim already. So there's one. Oh, this one was fun. This one I made a little belly band out of these vintage hearts that I have, made out of quilt. And I just used the lace. This is some of the lace that I got. I used it as a belly band, glued those on there, and then just did a little eyelet trim at the top. So again, these are just so fun. And then you keep going and you get a little more decorative with it. Here's lace at the top, 2 metal corners. Here to highlight, you can see the receipt shows their logo. I didn't have to print, do anything to that. It's just all right there for you to decorate. Put a little rosette there, some purple trim to hang a key. You've got an instant decoration. Lastly, this was kind of a thick one. And so I did my gathering of the sari silk. I added this applique flower with the button, did some lace there. And then here was this, looked like a postage stamp that they had there. Why don't we highlight it? Let's put a rosette on it. So again, these were a lot of fun to make. So if you have some receipts, you can ink the edges of them, sure, and can make them look, old. I just pinking sheared the sides of them for decoration. But why not turn them into some ephemera that you can use to decorate your pages? All right, lastly, I also have been busy making some fabric pockets. Now, I was inspired, and a lot of people were doing these. So I think Shabby Dabby Doodah did one. I think Girl on the Ridge did some. So I got out my fabrics, and I love the idea of the pocket. So as I figured out, what do I want to line this with? I thought I really wanted to line it with something that would give me a pop of color, not just book text. So on a lot of these that I did, I went to my bird book and I put pages, full pages of the bird book in here. So when you open it, you get this beautiful picture and it tells you what kind of bird it is. So then it was a matter of decorating the outside. And I just used some crocheted applique, a little hang tag. Again, we all recognize those from My Porch Prints and the little flower applique. So that was one, but here was a different way to do it. I had lace. And obviously lace you can see through. So I thought, well, I don't want the picture to be on the inside because then it's just going to show white through the lace. So I flipped it and I found a page in my botanical book of a lot of flowers that were big so that they would show through the lace. So no matter which way you look at this, you're seeing flowers and greenery all over this pocket. Oh, it was gorgeous. And, to sew it up, the lace was fine. It held to the book page just perfectly. And you've got your book page ready to go, or your pocket ready to go. So that was one I did. These were fun. I did the same thing because this is kind of a lace. It's got kind of appliques all over it. And I did the picture of the botanicals on the inside, but on the flip side, there was this pretty color that popped through the lace anyway. So that was fun. So if you want to get your laces out, look at your book pages. See one that has pictures on both sides. That's the one to use for the laces. Here's one last one on the lace. Oh, I could do these all day. They were so pretty. Again, you could see the botanicals all coming through the lace. And it just adds such a delicate touch to these pockets that we can slide into our journals. I mean, there's a million ways to use those. But then let me show you what I got started doing with them. Because, you know, we can't leave them blank for very long, can we? No. We got to get in there and we got to start playing with them. So, okay. So here's one of those lace pockets. I just added some tulle. Added a little frame with her. And of course, this one opens this way. Instead of this way, I let her open this way. So there's one with the front. And then I did another one the same way. It just opens that way. That one I did the book page. This one I did the postage stamp with a blue, kind of to match, pulled out some blue in this beautiful fabric that I love. This one I added a Velcro to, little Velcro dot, keep it shut. So again, you could put lots of treats in here and that beautiful flower coming out. Oh, that was fun. That was fun. This one might be my favorite. Lace again with that vintage quilt heart, and then pop the butterfly on there. Oh, it is again beautiful. And this one was fun. This was a couple of flowers behind some crocheted circles, which my 97-year-old mom made me. I asked her, Mom, make me some circles. Crochet me some circles. I need them for my journals. Pretty soon in the May, because she's in California, pretty soon I got a whole bag of circles that I could use. So she went to town. So anyway, those are very special. And again, use the bird on the inside there. And lastly, this is one that has a big punch to it. It's an orchid. And I think this was a fabric. This was some canvas covering. And it's just beautiful. So I made a pocket, and then I put in one of our Kodachrome frames with some dried flowers that I put in there. And look at the inside of that one. It's almost as pretty when you open it up as it is on the outside. But yeah, again, using these in your journals, you could glue them down and use them, or you could free flow them in there and put some ephemera in them. Those are good to go. All right. Well, lastly, let me give you a quick sneak peek. I just used one of these ephemera in a journal that I'm working on. So I thought I would give you a sneak peek. It's not ready yet, but it's the first time in a journal that I've worked with brocade fabric. Wow. It really is gorgeous. I will be looking to do that again. Well, if you can see here, it is just gorgeous. But I'm not going to show the whole thing to you yet because I'm not done. But I am going to show you this left side and how I use that piece of ephemera right there. See, I glued the top so it now becomes a flip up. And I have some coffee stained paper underneath it with a little stamp down there. So it covers up a place for maybe you to do some private journaling there in that journal. And they look so beautiful in the journal. The embossing is just gorgeous. So that's all I'm showing you. So that's all I'm going to show you for now. So if you would like to see the rest of this journal, here's my bribe. Subscribe to my channel and hit the all so you won't miss any more Ephemera Ideas, and you won't miss the release of my latest journal. I've got a couple more on my shelf ready to go. But I do appreciate for those of you who take time to watch videos. And I know it's time out of our life, but it's all about inspiration. And if at Paper Fire we get to ignite a fire under you to do something creative, then we've done our job. So make it a good weekend, and I will look forward to seeing you next week. Thanks, y'all.